Hi there, everyone. It is currently the 28th of March 2015. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you today. And of course, today we are talking about Tropical Storm Maysak, our fourth named storm system of 2015, and likely will become the third typhoon out here of 2015. And we are not even done with the month of March here in the Western Pacific. So definitely a very active start to the season. But with this update, we're going to be talking about where this is right now and where it is going to be going. The big thing is that it is way out there towards the east, still around, well, Micronesia is still towards the southeast of Guam. So the big thing is that we still have a lot of time to watch this. I want to put that out right at the start. I know we have actually been talking this for days now, but it is still well out to sea. A week away from any impact. If it did impact the Philippines, still would be another week before it even got there. You have to remember, this isn't moving at an airplane speed. It's moving at about 10 to 15 knots. It's going to take its time. So what that means is you still have plenty of time to make preparations if you want to, and you live out here in the tropics. You probably should be ready for a storm system any time of the year. But those little preparations, getting a little emergency kit ready, probably a smart idea. So let's talk about our storm system here. The thing is, it actually is continuing to organize today. You can see here in the satellite picture, you have that banding wrapping around from the northern periphery of it. That convection definitely continuing to build up. You can see on the visible imagery that low-level circulation has gotten under the bulk of the convection. About 2 days ago, it was actually rather exposed, but now with that continued organization, we're seeing this look much more like a traditional tropical system. And that is one reason why, if this continues to organize, it's sitting over sea surface temperatures around 30 to 33 degrees Celsius, plus south of any significant vertical wind shear. And I'll even put it up here on your screen. The current jet stream and where it is at least at this time, still well off here towards the north. So, actually, here we go. Let's go ahead and put that up there. So, you have your storm system down here. If it stays out of the grasp of this jet stream, which it does look like it's doing, that allows for more intensification. Plus that exhaust aloft, even though it's just skimming the southern extent of that, allows for more intensification. And that is why, at least at this time, it does look like it could get up to the very strong status for typhoons, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency. I don't think a super typhoon is really in the works here. Very well could possibly happen. At least for now, though. The Japan Meteorological Agency and the Joint Typhoon Warning Center rating this a low-end tropical storm, winds of 35 gusting to 50 knots. JMA does have a pressure at 1,002 HPA. Unfortunately, Pagassa's still not in the game yet. That's the way Pagasa run things, guys. If you're not familiar with the weather in the Western Pacific, the agency that gets hit the most by these storm systems probably will not be warning on this until the Monday to Tuesday time frame when the storm gets close enough to the Philippines. I'm a big proponent of that. I don't really agree with it, but that's the way they run things here. So let's take a look at actually some more satellite imagery. Do want to note these microwave imageries. You can see that banding wrapping around this storm system, but you don't quite have an eye just yet. We're still away from this becoming a typhoon. I think the next several days, that's when it's going to really intensify. Track from the Japan Meteorological Agency. You can see it staying south of Guam out here. That's the good news. Actually, Guam, you're going to be really missing out on most of this storm system. The wind's definitely going to be picking up, and that's something to keep in mind because of the fact that we're going to be seeing the gradient-induced winds with our storm system down here towards the south and that interacting with our high off here towards the north. And actually, let's go ahead and zoom right in here over top of Guam. And you can just see those breezy conditions continuing to flow across here. And I'll go ahead and hit play on this through Saturday and then extending out through Sunday. We're going to be seeing this, the wind's really just increasing up. So don't think that you're going to be getting a direct landfall like we did see with Bobby, but the winds are going to be strong enough to blow around some light objects. I still would prepare, especially if you live here on the southern extent of the island. Saipan, you're really going to be missing out on this. I know you got the worst of the winds with Bobby. This is just going to stay down here towards the south and basically track overhead. A few passing showers there on Guam. Anybody vacationing out here as well, definitely going to be getting an impact from this. But the Guam National Weather Service, at least at this time, has not issued any warnings or advisories. And then basically this is going to last out through Monday and the Tuesday and eventually taper off as a storm system. Let's zoom right in on this. Moves basically right over Yap. And Yap, you're going to be the ones that are really going to take the brunt of this storm. I think out of all the islands, based on all the information available right now, all the islands and out here in the Western Pacific, Yap definitely is going to be getting the brunt and probably going to be seeing typhoon strength winds, because by the time the storm system gets over there, it's going to have enough time to really intensify. And actually, let's take a look at the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, the U.S. military's track. They're the official agency here for YAP. They're expecting this to be a Category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale by the time it does move over the island here, with winds sustained around 100 knots. That's enough to cause some damage at the very least. YAP is used to getting hit by typhoons. Actually, the island here took a pretty big hit from Typhoon Haiyan before it even moved over there towards the Philippines and caused a devastation back in 2014. So, or excuse me, 2013, that is. So yeah, this is definitely something you really want to be watching out for. Now, let's talk about the extended range, because I know that's what everybody really wants to know about. Is this going to have an impact on the Philippines? Well, big thing I do want to note before I get into that is that you can take a look. Don't extrapolate this JTWC forecast, or the JMA forecast for that matter, because I have been seeing people asking, does this mean this is going to hit Visayas or Mindanao? No. It means that this is where the 5-day forecast ends. Don't extrapolate it, because it could stay down here towards the south or turn towards the north. Remember this cone of air right here. It's pretty big, right? So you have to keep that in mind. Let's take a look at some other things we're talking about here. Yes, this would keep on that westerly track if the atmosphere was static too. We have this subtropical ridge right in here I was talking about. This is running along the southern periphery of that. This is going to drift towards the east. It should allow some sort of recurvature. Even we can take a look, actually, let's go ahead and just put on the screen really fast here what a couple of the numerical guidances are showing. This is from the ECMWF mid next week, showing this actually being up near parts of Luzon, and then the GFS, very similar output farther off here towards the north and even drifting off there on the northern periphery. But that's just two images from the numerous models we are seeing. Let's take a look at some of the other ones here. Actually, these are the ensemble guidances, because remember, with the model outlooks, it's not just one output, it's numerous ones combined together. As I mentioned, the GFS has it just off here off the northeastern coast of Luzon, but that's in the center of all this guidance. Look at this. Some of them actually pull it off here towards the east, some of them take it on shore there into Visayas, and the big areas that where this is consolidated is in the southern Luzon or over there just off the eastern coast. This is why I have been very cautious on saying if this would make a direct landfall or not. Look at the NavGem, the U.S. Navy model, way off there towards the east, but this is really picking up on that ridge weakening, and it pulls it off. But look at this, the line's really close together, coming on shore there into parts of Luzon. The CMC, Canada not famous for making the good tropical models. I do want to note that. Everybody knows that. They're good for snow, but not so much for tropics. Has it coming on there in Luzon. And then we have the multi-model consensus in the ECMWF also running out there. Right now, I think if you are out here in east coast of Luzon, based on all the information we have, I think that you definitely should be ready for the possibility of a typhoon. It very well could weaken. That's one thing you're not showing here, is that we are going to expect some vertical wind shear. So I think the storm is not going to be that Category 3 intensity we've seen back here towards it. It is going to weaken before it does make any impact on the Philippines. But there is still enough threat. You don't want to ignore it, at least at this time. And I think that is something we're going to be talking about over the next several days once the forecast becomes more clear on if this will make a direct landfall or if it will take that northerly track there. So for now, up and down the eastern seaboard, this is all wait and watch. Now, the good news, as I mentioned earlier on, is that we have still a lot of time to watch this. That's the fantastic news. Look at this. This is actually, when it impacts YAP, this is on Tuesday into Wednesday. We're talking about next Friday and the Saturday before this makes any impact on the Philippines. So it's not going to be until mid-next week until we get a really decent idea on where exactly this could make landfall, if it does make landfall. I know it's a whole 10-minute long update. I'm just basically telling you that. But the big thing right now, I think, is that if you are out here in Guam and Yap, this one's coming. Guam, breezy conditions really expected on Monday through Tuesday. And then Yap, you're definitely Tuesday and the Wednesday conditions are going to be going downhill. And if you're a typhoon chaser, this is the place to be, at least for the month of March into early April. All right, guys, that is all for me right now. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page. New updates always being posted there at Westpac Weather. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel. And follow me at Robert Speta or at Westpac Weather there on Twitter. All right, thanks again for watching. And as always, stay safe out there.